So, after the parents, the father and the mother, they came back from the tour or a vacation. The son said, I have done something which you will very much like. What is that? Tell quickly. He said, all your old patients, you were keeping them. I have corrected all of them and dispatched them. Now there is no more old patient in our hospital. The father hit his head against the wall. He said, you fool, who told you that you have to cure the patients? I have been maintaining them for last 20 years. Practice medicine. See, friends. So when we practice Gita, what exactly it means? As we practice medicine on others, are we practicing Gita on others? See the difference? Bhagavad Gita is a subjective science. It is not objective. And therefore, we discover in Bhagavad Gita whatever we want. When we go to a mall, there are so many shops. If it's a toy shop, the couple with the children going for shopping or just to have coffee. So in the toy shop, kids will be attracted. And they will pull the parents, let's go there, let's go there. Parents are not interested in the toy shops at all. So they somehow push the kids go ahead. Then comes the sari shop. In that sari shop, the children are not interested, the father is definitely not interested. See? But the wife is interested. It is the same mall. Mall is not different. From there, somehow or the other, they pull that mother or the wife. Go ahead. Then comes a necktie shop. There the father is interested, neither the wife nor the children. In the same manner, in Bhagavad Gita, we have decided to see, and that alone we see. See, friends. Bal Gangadhar Tilak saw Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. And he says, Bhagavad Gita is the Karma Yoga Chatussutri, wherein he quotes the second chapter verse, Karmanye Vadikaraste. Then you go to the yogis. See, there are commentaries written on Bhagavad Gita by Paramhamsa Yogananda. If you read his commentary, you will come to know that everything is considered as an example. See, there is called a symbolism. The symbolism is such a destructive thought process. It is never should be entertained. For example, when you go to Ganesha temple and do prayer or offer your prayers to Lord Ganesha, it is a field of devotion. In devotion, there should not be inquiry. See? But instead of having devoted to Lord Ganesha, see, Vakradanda Mahakaya, Koti Surya Samprabha, Vignam Guru Me Deva, is enough. But again, our intellect starts in the wrong way. Then the intelligent people look upon the Lord with the eye of analysis. The big stomach of Ganesha indicates he has not taken Hajmola after taking food. Therefore, he has indigestion. He has only 1.5 tooth. That half tooth is broken because he did not use Viko Vajradanti. Friends, in the field of devotion, we should never bring in inquiry. Devotion is pure devotion. So those who are devotion oriented, they see in Bhagavad Gita only devotion. And nothing is wrong in that. Like a child going to the toy shop, nothing is wrong. The lady going to a sari shop, nothing wrong. The man going to a necktie shop, normal. See, it is not we are condemning anybody, no. Then a yogi studies Bhagavad Gita. So, like this commentary on Bhagavad Gita, there every character is symbolized. Like Ramayana, many people do the symbolism. Rama is Atma, and Sita is Shanti, Lakshmana is Vairagya, then Kumbhakarna is Kama or Ahankar. And by this, the whole Ramayana is destroyed. See, friends. So, those who are seeing yoga, they always talk only about yoga, nothing else beyond that. And those who are intellectuals, I am not talking about intelligent people. Intellectuals. You know the difference between the two? Last time I told you. Intellectuals are intelligently miserable. Intellectuals and intelligent are never miserable. They are always happy. Gata asuna gata asuscha nanu shochanti panditaha. So, the intellectuals see only logic and argument. One example I'll tell you. This happened in Washington DC. And I went to somebody's place, a gathering of about 20-30 people. Somebody's birthday, so some function was there. I also went. Because I am a Swami, they say, hey Swami, please talk to us also on something. And there was one gentleman who used to conduct, elderly man, conduct Gita classes over there. So then I said, what should I talk? You tell me. I'll talk that. You tell us something on Gita. I said, okay. Then that gentleman, elderly person, he told me, tell us about second chapter of Gita. I said, all right. So I finished my talk. Question answers, I said, okay, I'll ask you questions, please answer. No, we will ask you questions. I said, you are taking my exam or what? So that gentleman, he asked me this question. See, intellectuals I am explaining. He said, in Bhagavad Gita, how many verses are attributed to Dhritarashtra, to Sanjay, to Arjuna and to Bhagwan Krishna? How many verses are attributed to whom? I said, I don't know. See? Bhagavad Gita is practiced in our life. And when we practice Bhagavad Gita, then the question comes, to whom we give importance in Bhagavad Gita? Give importance to Dhritarashtra? What is happening or what happened to Dhritarashtra after listening to Bhagavad Gita? There is nowhere any mention in the whole of Mahabharata. The reason is nothing happened. When somebody is sleeping, you can wake him up. When somebody is pretending that I am sleeping, you cannot wake him up. So nothing happened to Dhritarashtra. Then what happened to Sanjay? Sanjay also heard Bhagavad Gita. Vyasa prasada shrutavan etad guhyam aham param. Bhagwan Vedavyasa's grace, I heard the whole Bhagavad Gita. And taccha sansmritya rupam atyadbhutam harehe. I still remember the great divine form of the Lord, and Rishyami Mumurmuhu, I am again and again so happy even to think of that. And his conclusion, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. That is his this is what happened to Sanjay. What happened to Arjun? Bhagwan Krishna asked this question. Kachideta Shrutam Partha Tvaya Ekagrena Chetasa Kachid Ajnana Sammohaha Pranashtaste Dhananjaya. Hey Arjun, I have been talking to you. Did you listen with single pointed mind? Or I was talking and you are looking here and there? No, no, no. If you have really heard, has your delusion gone or not? And what happened to Arjun after having heard Bhagavad Gita? In Arjuna's word, Nashto Mohaha, delusion gone. Smriti Labdha, now I know what for I have come on the battlefield. Tad prasadat maya chuta stitosmi gata sandehaha. Now I am left with no doubt. This is what happened to Arjun. Now we also study Bhagavad Gita. We have been reading Gita for years together. What happened to us? If Bhagwan asks us, you have been studying Gita, what happened to you? So we will tell Bhagwan, Bhagwan, nashta smriti moha labdha tat prasadat maya chuta gatosmi sthita sandehaha. I have become more confused. See? And nashta smriti, I have forgotten what for I started studying Bhagavad Gita. See, friends, study of scriptures is aimed at changing our vision. All the problems are because of this vision. See, friends, and what Bhagavad Gita or any scripture should give a seeker, a student, is change the standpoint in life. There are different standpoints. One standpoint is, through an example I'll tell you, wave to wave, I versus you. This standpoint is competition, jealousy, frustration, anger, enmity, friendship, I versus you. The second standpoint is the wave versus the ocean. You and me versus God. The second standpoint. In this standpoint, in this relation, there is no competition. There is only surrender. See. Now the third standpoint, the ocean is looking at the waves. God looking at us. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, see, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha. For me, everyone is equal. From the ocean's point of view, tsunami is not bad and a small ripple is not cute. And ultimate standpoint, from the water's point of view, there is neither ocean the cause, waves the effect. Change in our standpoint is what is the measuring rod of has anything happened to us as a result of study of Bhagavad Gita. See, friends, it is this what Bhagavad Gita tells us in and through the 18 chapters. So, the first chapter tells us a common problem that we all go through, and the problem is identity crisis. First thing. Any one of us who knows who we are at a given period of time, there is no doubt or confusion about what we are supposed to do. See? Which teacher doesn't know what is his duty? Which politician doesn't know what is his duty? Which husband doesn't know what is his duty? Which parents do not know what is their duty? As regards knowledge of duty is concerned, all of us are perfect. But for a fraction of moment, we forget what we are at a given period of time in a particular situation, what we are. The moment we forget that, all the problems of life come. This is the first chapter of Gita. Only for a moment, this delusion came on Arjuna, not for hours together, only for a moment. And the reason of that delusion, only because of two things. First of all, he had been always successful in his life. Friends, it is necessary that we get failure sometime. Very necessary. It is easier to digest failure, very difficult to digest success in life. Constant success makes us totally derailed in a proper way of thinking. This is what happened to Arjuna. He had that arrogance, because one of the names of Arjuna is Vijay, because he was never defeated in his life. See? And therefore he had that arrogance of success. Who can dare fight with me? Let me see. See, friends. And the second thing was bitterness. These two things. Bitterness, vengeance, and arrogance. These are the two things which make us forget what we are at a given period of time. See? And therefore, it is God's grace that problems come in our life. See, friends, in one place I was asked to speak on Bhagavad Gita in 5 minutes at 11:55 at night on Janmashtami. And the organizer told me, Swamiji, you have to finish in 5 minutes, Bhagavan Krishna is coming. Bhagavad Gita in 5 minutes on his birthday. So I said, how can I talk? He is not yet born. So I said, look here, today is Janmashtami, therefore Bhagwan's Leela is going on. Bhagavad Gita is also Bhagwan's Leela. And what is the Leela? In Leela, some kind of tensions are there, success is there, failure is there, friends are there, enemies are there. Then only the drama is complete, is it not? Will you like such a drama? Where a boy comes, a girl comes, they look at each other, they fall in love, they go to the cross parents, he tells her parents, she tells his parents, we love each other, we want to get married, they say get married and get lost. Drama over. Will such a drama go? On the contrary, the boy comes and the girl comes, they look at each other, then some villain comes, Gabbar Singh, and he starts teasing that girl, and this boy becomes expert, and he starts dishing, and then he gets hurt, and then they go back, and then he is lost, and then his mother says, what happened? He says, I want to get married to that girl. If you get married to that girl, you will have to walk on my dead body. And tension and music. What a beautiful drama, is it not? Look at Ramayana. According to Valmiki Ramayana, Bhagwan Ramachandra ruled for 11,000 years. Out of that, 14 years forest. Out of 14 years, 13 years in Chitrakoot, Mauj mein raho. Out of the 1 year, 6 months he was getting the hospitality of all the saints and sages. And in remaining 6 months, she was taken away by Ravana. Now remove this portion from 11,000 years of his life. What will be Ramayana? Rama was a goody boy and he never hurt anybody, and then he got married and he ruled for 11,000 years. Ramayana over. Friends, remember this. Whenever there is a problem in our life, God is giving a special attention to us. Therefore, the first chapter of Gita is labeled as Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nam. In original Mahabharata, where from Bhagavad Gita comes, these Om Tassaditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Prathamodhyayaha. This Pushpika, this concluding statement does not exist. It is not in the original Mahabharata. It is attributed to a great saint. He was a contemporary of Mirabai, Tulsidas ji, Kabir ji, that time. Staying in Varanasi. He was a great Vedanti. He has written certain so subtle books, Chitsukhi, and to him is attributed this particular statement. So thereafter, all the Mahatmas, knowing the greatness of that master, they say, accept it. But in original text, this doesn't exist. So this first chapter is called as Vishada Yoga. Vishada Yoga, if you translate it in English, it will become Tragedy Yoga. How can the tragedy be the yoga? Be attentive. What we have to learn from Bhagavad Gita. See, tragedy yoga. That tragedy which changes the course of our life from the dog word to the God word. That tragedy is yoga because it is changing the course of our life's direction. See, friends. And therefore, Bhagavan Sri Krishna created this situation for Arjuna. When Arjuna says, Senayor Ubayor Madhya Ratham Sthapayamechyuta, between the two armies, O Lord, take my chariot. For what? I want to see Yavadetan Nirikshahan, Yoddu Kamanamastithan, Kairmaya Saha Yoddhavyam Asmin Rana Samudyame. I just want to see who are those dare thinking of fighting with me. Let me see. What an arrogance. See, friends. And when his arrogance came, Bhagavan Krishna smiled. See? And Bhagavan Krishna, then what he did, because he has to make a drama. Otherwise there is no charm in life. See? Even if you are a Bengali and you eat non-stop rasagulla, you will get disgusted. You want chutney in between, papad, achar, something is required. Exactly the same way, Bhagavan Sri Krishna brought his chariot where Bhishma Drona Pramukataha Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam. Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam means of all the other warriors who were on the battlefield, of all of them, Bhagavan Krishna selected and he has specially chosen Bhishma Drona Pramukataha in front of Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya. Was it necessary? He should have taken the chariot in front of Duryodhan Dushyasan. No, he wanted to create confusion. See, friends, whenever there is a confusion in our mind, understand it is a God's grace. Then we start thinking. So, when he thus saw in front of him Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, then Bhagavan Krishna said, you wanted to know with whom you have to fight? You don't have to fight with the enemies. You have to fight with your nears and dears. Friends, Bhagavad Gita tells us this basic principle of life. To fight with the enemies is not a big issue. But when our own nears and dears, when they become inimical to us, then the real challenge of life comes, then the real Bhagavad Gita comes to our help. See? Then who is near and dear to us? only one, and that is our own mind. If we can mind our mind, we have learned the message of Gita. See, friends, if I take food, we are not obliging the food. It is our necessity. If we study Bhagavad Gita, we are not obliging Bhagavad Gita. It is our necessity. And the impact of that study must happen on us. See, friends. And what is that impact? And what was the problem? In Arjuna's words, the problem was Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Under the influence of self-pity, be very attentive. As we should not insult anyone in this world, equally we should not insult oneself. Karpanya dosha. Karpanya dosha is the blemish of self-pity. Never have that self-pity. Papoham papa karmaham. No, you are divine. You are not papi. See, friends. Karpanya dosha pahata svabhavaha. And therefore, my original nature of a warrior to fight out in life is totally clouded. And because of that, dharma sammudha cheta, now I am deluded about what is my dharma at this given period of time. That was his question. So what should I do? Even then Bhagavan Krishna remained quiet. He didn't say anything. And then Arjuna says, oh God, he doesn't talk anything. Then he said, Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Oh Lord, I am thy disciple. Shadhimam means instruct me. See, friends, Bhagavad Gita is not meant for discussions, arguments, nothing. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. That knowledge must be born in our own heart. So, Arjuna's problem was dharma sammudha cheta. He himself has told, specified, his problem is, I am confused at this moment of my life. After the whole Bhagavad Gita was gone through, at the end of what he said, nashto mohaha, my delusion is gone. So what Bhagavad Gita tells? The karma fellow will say karma yoga, somebody will say ashtanga yoga, somebody will say the vishishta advaita, somebody will say advaita, somebody will say jnana yoga, etc. There are so many yogas told, not one and a half dozen yogas. But the real yoga is this, only one thing, that the delusion is gone, and none of the yogas told in Bhagavad Gita, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, nothing was practiced by Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita was not delivered in a temple like this. It was on a battlefield. He didn't do anything. Then exactly what happened? It is this one principle, that he became aware of himself, what he is supposed to be on the battlefield. Be attentive in the same manner. Bhagavan says, Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva atmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. We are in this world only for one purpose. Rest of the things can wait. And that is Uddhared atmanatmanam. We are only for one purpose. In this very life, we have to be such a fit instrument that the Lord chooses us to express through us. That is the only purpose of our life. We have no purpose. Someone who is wielding us, he has the purpose. See, friends, suppose I have some health problem. Naturally, I will go to the doctor, I will not go to the engineer. In the same manner, we have to be such a fit instrument that whatever has to be done for the world, the Lord is searching for the right instrument through whom He can execute His projects. Therefore, friends, what is most important for us all to learn, how do we practice Bhagavad Gita in our life, is first we have to rectify our identity, define, purify, perfect and self-controlled. This is the burden of first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. It is for this purpose that we study Bhagavad Gita. In a text called Vedanta Dindima, it is mentioned that Karmani Chitta Shuddhyartham Aikagryatham Upasanam Mokshartham Brahma Vijnanam Iti Vedanta Dindimaha. So, the first part of Bhagavad Gita begins with this. A confused Arjuna is addressed. See, the difference between this and Yoga Vasishta is this only. Here Bhagavan Krishna is the teacher and confused Arjuna is the disciple. And both of them are oldies. You all know on the battlefield, Bhagavan Sri Krishna was 89 years of age. And Arjuna was 86 years of age. All the fighting in the whole world is because of the oldies. Children don't fight. Then all the elderly people talk always about, teach children, Bhagavad Gita to children. When you were children, did you ever read? That time you enjoyed Coca-Cola. Now you don't want your children to enjoy that. See, friends, Bhagavad Gita is not for others. We have to change ourselves. So, Arjuna was so old and Bhagavan Krishna was equally, more than him, 3 years elder. See? And the second place where this kind of instruction comes in Yoga Vasishta. In Yoga Vasishta, Bhagavan Ramachandra is the disciple and Vasishta ji is the guru. Vasishta ji is old, Brahma's putra. And Bhagavan Rama is clearly mentioned in Yoga Vasishta, he was 15 years of age. Lesser than 15 years. And after having heard Yoga Vasishta, he was prepared. And then he lived his whole life. Therefore, the life of Bhagavan Rama is the life of a Jivan Mukta Purush. So he was first prepared to lead the proper life and therefore he became an Adarsha Purush. Arjuna never did all that. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Sakheti. See, he was treating Bhagavan Krishna as a pal, as a friend. He never knew the greatness of Bhagavan Krishna. See, friends. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita doesn't matter. Although we start reading it in our old age, never mind. But the impact of that Gita should come on us, not on our children. Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Yad yad acharati sreshtaha tattadeve taro janaha sa yat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. Our conduct in life, the conduct of the elders, That becomes a motivating factor for the younger generation. Talking doesn't help. See, friends, this is the most important thing. I'll tell you one example. There was one place in India. I was staying in one Marwari family, a 3-4 storied building, and the whole family, 5-6 brothers, their children, all staying together. And I was staying on the ground floor. One room was given to me, and next to my room there was one temple kind of thing. One day, one small little girl, maybe about 8-10 years, she came to my room morning time. It must be Sunday or holiday. So she came and like a fearful condition, looking here and there and all that. I said, hey, what happened? She said, Swamiji, can I close the door? I said, okay, close. She closed. I want to ask you something. I said, yes, ask. But swear by God you will not tell anybody. I said, okay, I will not tell anybody. Then she started telling me this. That day, therefore, from that day onward, earlier also, I consider all of you as my Guru. What I have learned from all of you is unparalleled. See, friends, we are full-timers. You have got many problems of your life, and yet you are finding time for study of scriptures. You deserve more credit than us. And therefore, I have learned 100,000,000 things from you. From the child, what I learned was this. She asked me, Swamiji, your Krishna is a rascal? Your Krishna is a devil? Your Krishna is very torturing? Your Krishna is very angry? She started telling one by one all these things. I said, okay, where from you got this information? See, our Dadi Ma, in the morning, she goes in that temple you have seen next to your room. Yes, she goes there. She is there doing puja Bhagwan Krishna for 3 hours. During those 3 hours only in our house there is peace. After she comes out, then the whole house is in pieces. She starts shouting at the servants, she starts hitting somebody, she uses a very filthy language which she should not use, and she is elderly than all of us. Therefore, I had decided I will never be a devotee of Krishna because I have seen a Krishna devotee behaves like this. See, friends, yad yadacharati sreshtaha. Bhagavad Gita must be reflected in our day-to-day life through action, not through words. This I learned from one great master in my life. He was one of the greatest who has made complete change in the direction of my life. As every seeker, initially you are all, read all kinds of funny books, autobiography of a yogi, and then you start imagining that what happened to him, it will happen to you, and then you are looking at the kite, and the kite will come to you, but it never comes, only a mosquito comes. I did not ask for a mosquito, why a mosquito is coming? See, all kinds of funny things, everybody goes through. And therefore, I should have the vision of God, like Mirabai had, Mere to Giridhara Gopal, Dusaro no koi, nobody came. And in this way, once I was with one great master, and he was very old that time, must be about 60 plus or so, and he had the cancer of the lower intestine, and cataract, diabetes, and in that condition, we brought him and he sat on the dais. And he's so innocent like a small baby. So pure, so innocent. When he said, hey, do my lungi properly. People will think that I am mad or what. make it properly, okay? And he is not able to see because of cataract properly. And then you are all disciplined, quiet. It was a chaotic crowd. So many people will come and go, and somebody will come and put tilak on his head, somebody will come and put the mala, somebody will take an apple, put on the book as a paperweight, all kinds of things. Somebody will do pradakshina, all chaos. And in that, one person got up and read a question paper in that chaos. And I was so angry, that time I was young. I was so angry, I felt like getting up and hitting the people. Shut up, now he is listening, can't you understand? But I had no guts. So I kept quiet, suffering silently inside, biting my own teeth. And in that chaos, that great master was totally undisturbed, like Himalaya. And he heard all those, not one, half a dozen or dozen questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And after that, he said, you ask these questions, is it not? And he restated his questions. In the restatement, all answers were included. That day, I told Bhagavan, Krishna, hang around, I am not in a hurry to see you. If anything that has to be achieved in life is this: nothing in this world should have a freedom to disturb me. That is all. By seeing God, nothing happens, I guarantee you. Don't run after that foolish thing. Bhagwan ka darshan, nothing happens, I guarantee you. Take the scriptures. In Bhagavad Mahapuran, the story of Dhruva you all must have heard or read. Dhruva was, thrown by his father. Then he became very insulted. Then Naradji came and told, do tapasya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That 5.5 years child did tapasya for 6 months. And Narayana came in down. And then now this child, he can't even say anything, forget about talking. So Bhagavan Krishna took his, Shankha mobile and touched to his face, his cheek, and he started bringing out the best poem prayer ever offered. And then Bhagavan Narayana says, I know why you have called me. Yes, you will be ruling the earth. And after this is over, you will go in the North Pole, Dhruva Lok, that will be your thing, you will remain there eternally. After having said this, Narayana disappears. There clearly it is mentioned, after having heard this, Dhruva did not become happy, he was miserable. Because after having seen God, what did I ask? This rubbish world? See friends, the story further continues. He becomes a king. In Badrinath forest, his stepbrother Uttam, he was killed by the tribes, Nishad. And he as a king becomes very angry. And he wants to go and kill the total tribe. You kill my brother, I'll kill all of you. That time Bhagwan Manu, he comes and tells Dhruva, the world knows you had vision of Narayana. After having seen Bhagwan Narayan, this is your behavior. You want to go and kill the whole world. See friends, Bhagwan Narayana's darshan did not change Dhruva. It is the saint, the Mahatma, Manu Maharaj, because of whom Dhruva was totally changed. Friends, we don't have to seek God, we have to discover Him within. And the discovery is, let Him express through us. See? It is for this purpose we have to start working on ourselves, not on the world. The world is most beautiful. It is for this purpose, when we study Bhagavad Gita, the change will start happening in us. See, friends, and the change is, we do not misunderstand anybody in this world. Many people, many elderly people have this particular complaint. Children don't understand me, they don't listen to me, they don't support me. No, you should do the other way around. You have studied Gita, not them. See, friends. Therefore, Bhagavan Sri Krishna starts giving him instructions from the second chapter onwards. The first instruction he gives, not with a goody language. See, we have to talk the language what the person understands. He was in a delusion, frustrated, depressed, dejected, not in a proper listening mode. To him you cannot talk the language of a goody person. See, when some program is going on, once I was sitting somewhere watching I like Animal Planet, Discovery. There you don't have to think, simply watch. That is why I like. Thinking is the biggest disease for human mind. So I was watching that, and there was a small child sitting with me, and that one tiger was chasing a deer or animal and trying to bounce. Now that child got angry, frustrated. Swami, close it. I can't see that, he is very bad, and I immediately changed the channel, something. This is good. So all the problem disappeared. Exactly the same way. Arjuna was depressed, dejected, frustrated. So we should not become dejected, depressed, frustrated. This has happened to you. It is natural. If anybody is in your place, he will also get depressed. Therefore, if you are depressed, you justify. Continue beta depressed, okay? No. Bhagavan has to break that wrong channel of thinking. See, friends. And therefore Bhagavan tells, don't have self-pity on you. Klaibhyam masma gama partha means don't have self-pity. Klibata means a sense of impotency. Impotency means sense of self-pity. Means we don't have the confidence in oneself. Friends, a person who begins his life or day without inspiration, he ends up in perspiration. Begin your day in an inspired mode. See how beautiful the life is lived. For us, the problem is, OGIM. You know this? TGIF, you know. No? Thank God it's Friday. There is a chain of hotels in US. When the Friday comes, everybody in the working place is happy. Now we are going for a weekend. They go to weekend, come back weekend. Then after they come back weekend, thereafter again Monday. For them, a new hotel chain I have opened in USA, and it is OGIM. Oh God, it's Monday, and again this that. Let us begin our day in an inspired mode. Then the life is lived. See, friends. And for that, our wrong notion have to be hammered. See, friends. One of the texts written by Bhagavan Shankaracharya, popularly known as Bhaja Govindam, but the other name of the text is Moha Mudgara. Mudgara means a mace. Moha means delusion. Delusion cannot be removed by delicacy. It has to be removed by the hammer. And therefore Bhagavan Krishna hammers him. You important one, imagine. Arjuna on the battlefield is labeled as important. What an insult! See, friends, and the word used is so appropriate. You all know the story. When they were living 1 year, last year of their exile, incognito, that time Arjuna had become an important, and he was teaching music and dance to Uttara. See, the daughter of the king Virat. And nobody knew this except Bhagwan Krishna and Arjun. Nobody knew it. And on the last day of that particular exile was over, thereafter the battle was to start. So Bhagwan Krishna was reminding him, hey, that part is over. Now you are a man. Don't cry like a girl. This way I said in one college. Don't cry like a girl. Immediately one girl stood. Swamiji, objection. I said, objection accepted. I changed my statement. Don't cry like a boy for a girl. This is So, Klaibyamasmagama Partha, Bhagwan hammers on his head, and that hammering changes his direction of thinking. See, friends, all the problems are not in not thinking. Problems are in wrong thinking. Thinking is not a problem. For the yogi, thinking is a problem. We don't believe in that. If you see Patanjali Yoga Darshan, there the yoga is defined as yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. There should not be any thoughts in the mind. Then stones are better than us. No thoughts. Why there should not be thoughts? Why should we be afraid of thoughts? It is something like going to a doctor and telling doctor, when I open my eyes, I can see everything. Is it a problem or what? If you don't see, then there is a problem. You go to the ENT specialist and tell a doctor, I can hear properly with my ears. Then why did you come? In the same manner, if there are thoughts in the mind, why should it be a problem? If there are no thoughts, then there is a problem. See, friends. See, avichara kruto bandha vicharena nivartate. The thinking is incomplete, and therefore all the problems come in life. Think completely. See, friends, when we draw conclusions on incomplete data, that conclusion cannot be valid and correct. Data must be fully utilized. See? It is something like, if you want to see somebody's health, is the temperature normal? Yes, we have put the feet in the hot air oven and head in the deep freeze, the average temperature is normal. No. In the same manner, think fully. Fully means what? From womb to the tomb. Normally what happens? We go to a cul-de-sac. Some good or bad event happens and we imagine that is the end of our life. This is incomplete thinking. We have to go beyond this barrier of this, it is Sanskrit, it is called as Kupa Manduka Vritti. Kupa Manduka Vritti means it is something like this. This story comes in the Nyaya Shastra. There was a fish from the sea. He happens to go to a well. And in the well there was a frog. So when the new fish arrival was seen by the frog asked, hey, who are you? He said, I am a fish. Where from you have come? The frog must be Indian. Because this is the question every time I face, Swamiji, where are you from? Where do you stay? Why do you stay? Where are you? Why don't you get married? Why you get married? Ram, Ram, Ram. No end to those questions. So I keep on bluffing depending upon the time. So He said, where from you have come? He said, I have come from ocean. What is ocean? The frog has never seen ocean. What is ocean? Ocean is waters. Water. How much water? Now frog, what he can think? With his small little hand, he takes this much water. So the fish, the fish doesn't have neck. So he wags his tail and says, no. Then the frog takes his two hands. This much water? Again the fish says, no. Then the frog becomes angry. He takes a leap in the waters. From here to here, this much water, your ocean. The fish says, no, Baba, much more than that. So the limit that a frog can understand and think is wall to wall. So he jumps diagonally. This much water? He said, no. Then come with me. They go to the ocean. After having gone to ocean, now the fish asks, how much is the ocean water? The frog is silent. That which is present in the absence is the truth. That which gives existence to the absence is the truth. That which is unopposed to anything is the truth. That which illuminates not only the light but also the darkness is the truth. Now that frog cannot understand this. Because for him his world is that small little well, never coming out of it. I versus you. Arjuna's problem was, Swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina syama madhava. Hey Madhava, how will I be happy by killing my nears and dears? Again he argues, Katham Vishwamaham Sankhe Dronam cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotsyami Pujarha Varisudana. Hey Madhusudana, hey Arisudana, how can I even retaliate Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya, even if they attack me? I can't even say no to them. Because Pujarha, they are worthy of worship. Forget about killing them. See friends, meaning what was his intention? His intention was, how can I kill my guru and my grandfather? If it is your guru and your grandfather, I have no problem. Problem is here only. Because he was seeing only in that Kupa Manduka Vritti, living in the walls of my and mine. See friends, what Bhagavad Gita tells us, break this Kupa Manduka Vritti. Look at the life from beginning to end. This is what in the second chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna first things, Ashochananvashochastvam pradnyavadauscha bhashase gatasuna gatasuscha nanushocanti panditaha. The first principle of Bhagavad Gita is this. From here onward, Bhagavan Shankaracharya has written commentary. The first principle is this. Gatasuna gatasuscha nanushocanti panditaha. Wise are never miserable. Whether somebody dies or somebody doesn't die. Meaning what? Otherwise are miserable. When somebody dies, they are miserable. When somebody doesn't die, then also they are miserable. Marta bhi nahi. See friends, so what Bhagavad Gita has to tell us is the first principle. We are here in this world only for one purpose. And that purpose is, let us allow Him to express through us. Be attentive. God's expression through us is we live, we let others live. We don't cheat others, we don't get cheated by others. we are happy and we let others also live happy. See, friends, the only purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to express happiness in life. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kangshati. The ultimate of Bhagavad Gita. See? So what should happen to us if we have studied Bhagavad Gita? That we must become, or we must naturally be ever cheerful and happy, that even a dead person comes, he should awake and say thank you. See? But it is the other way around. If a live person comes, Are Baapre, Gita wala aaya, bhago. See, friends, there was one person running, another was following him. So the people say, hey, what happened? First catch hold of him, then I'll tell you. So people catch hold of that person. And he said, now what happened? Has he stolen something? No, not stolen anything. Then when he was talking to me, Gita, I was listening. Now the same Gita, I am telling him, now he is running. I want to take revenge. Now listen Gita, listen Gita. See, friends, Gita must be practiced in our life, and it only reflects, if we have digested Gita, it will end up in healthy, cheerful mind. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasya upajayate prasanna chetaso yasho buddhi paryavatishtate. The one who is ever cheerful and happy, he alone can think of God. A miserable person will never think of God. He will think of misery in front of God also. See, it is something like in a person having, let us take a root canal. A person with a root canal, what will be his meditation? His meditation will be sentimental. Oh God, hey, what is this meditation? Who taught you? A dentist taught you? A miserable person can never be able to see God. See, friends, the first and the last message of Bhagavad Gita is this. It is only for this purpose. Right in the beginning, first chapter only, Sanjay very clearly tells, when Arjuna was thus disgusted, frustrated, to that disgusted, frustrated Arjun, Bhagwan Sri Krishna spoke, Prahasan iva. When the original Bhagavad Gita is delivered with a smile on the face, why the speaker should have a frown on the face? It is not a punishment that we are studying Bhagavad Gita. No. It is our own beauty that we are seeing. This thing I learned from one Mahatma, very old one, that time I was young. I went to Uttar Kashi and I used to go for a walk on the banks of Ganges. That time there was no that big dam, so beautiful wide Ganges. So I went for quite some time. Morning time, the sun came very cold. And in one kutia, one Mahatma was sitting. So I went, did namaskar and sat, and he had the Shankar Bhashya Bhagavad Gita kept in front of him. So I did namaskar to him. So I said to him, I said, Maharaj ji, for you know what is there to study Gita? You must have studied it so many times. What is for you to study? He said, no, I am seeing what they have said about me in this book. See how beautiful it is. See how simple, straight away. He was not studying Gita, he was telling what they have said about me in this book. That is the study of Gita. See, friends, whenever the food is digested, assimilated, it ends up in health. When it is neither digested nor assimilated, it comes out the wrong way. In the same manner, when Bhagavad Gita is digested, assimilated, it becomes quiet and only cheer and happiness. Name dveshosti na priyaha. See, friends, so what we have to learn from Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is meant uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva atmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmana. Now in this first 6 chapters, they talk about few important things. Number 1, redefining our I in a given situation in life. Number 2, we also have to remember that we have to play different roles in our life. And for every role, we have to have different expression. If we play a wrong dialogue and wrong role before somebody, then we are gone. If you are a military general and in the office you roar like a lion, and you come home and before wife, if you do the same thing, you will be a failure. So in the office you roar like a lion, but when you come home, meow, meow, you will be successful both the places. If you do the wrong way, you are gone. See, friends, play your role cheerfully and happily. That is the message of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And for that, this our role, how to define it, how to play the role, and how not to get entangled in the role that we are playing. And after that is done, what are the ways of expressing the perfect performance of our role, and ultimately the self-discipline required for playing the different roles. These are the topics that must be learned by us in our life, and how to do that, let us leave it for tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.